already, I'd like you to start your checklist again, please. Again, I don't care if this is our 10th flight in a row. You don't negate doing the checklist.
Alright, altimeter set. 372. Left harnesses on secured.
I will be on in just a second and let you know.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't catch anything.
Right at the very end there, I tried to catch something there, and I told him, as a student, I don't want you doing this, but because you're with me, we can do it.
You should hire me as a sales.
What'd you sell?
Every time I see it, because I just like to talk, I convince people, yes, of course you can do it. My 15-year-old son is this.
Perfect.
Alright.
Look at, go ahead.
Harnesses on the secured. Cable and tow release checked. Controls checked. The trim is set. And closed and latched.
I'm all closed and latched.
5 brakes.
Excellent.
Closed
Look
and
at your tow pilot and give him 3 fingers. He's just watching the traffic pattern. He sees. Okay. There's your waggle. Now remember, there was another guy in that one, so we may have to deal with him as well. Okay, it's all you. Of course, there's a deer running out in the field. Yep, get your airspeed up. Let's go to the left. Let's make it happen. We gotta go. We gotta react. We can't dig around here. Get that nose down. Get that airspeed up. Good. Keep that nose down, Carol. We gotta get there. See how much? We don't have much. We're just clearing these trees by 30 feet. And let's land short on runway 7 this time. So, airspeed's good. Let's get some spoilers ready to deploy. We don't need them just yet. Let's make sure we reach it. We're going to try to stop, you know, fairly close to the end of the airport.
I mean, we might not need any air brakes at all.
What's that?
We might not need any spoilers at all.
No, I would still keep your hands on it, just because we're going to need a little bit. Why don't you crack them open about half?
I was not expecting that.
No? Good. Just follow me. I'm going to kind of clear us out over here. Good. Just stay right there. I'm going to line this up. We're going to go right from here. That's right. You weren't expecting it. You should always expect it. And when it doesn't happen, that's when you should be feeling good about it. Good. All right. If you want to open your top for a second, you got a second here. I'll get the rope. We're going to do our pre-takeoff checklist again. we've got traffic back over here. I don't know whether he's departing or taxiing somewhere. We've got to keep our eyes on him. Same checklist. We do it over again.
Yeah. Altimeter set. Belt and harness is on and secured. Cable and tow release checked. Controls checked. Trim is set. Canopy closed.
Leave that open till we're ready. That's going to be the last thing. Okay, go ahead.
Dive brakes closed and locked.
Okay, I'm all set. If you want to buckle up and or button up the canopy.
Okay.
Now, going from this end, we got to watch for anybody that might be coming out from the restaurant
Okay.
and the fuel, or coming from the other side. Wing down takeoff. You're going to have to pick up that wing. How are we going to pick that wing up?
Opposite.
Yes, and stick.
Mhm.
And this time we're going to be in the air real quick because we're going into the wind.
Mhm.
All right, he's going to give you the waggle. There's your question, answer. Full pedal right, full pedal, full stick right. Get that wing up. Hold it in, hold that stick in, hold it in. There you go. Good, now back to the center. Good, stay low, as close as you can without touching the ground. Let's put it a little lower. The closer you are, the better ground effect is. Follow him around. $200, $300, don't forget it, even though you're going a different direction. Hands and feet on any corrections when you do. Don't just throw the stick and expect it to do the work. Remember, the whole purpose of the rudder is to counteract the adverse yaw generated by the ailerons. Bump right there. Okay, we'll remember where that is. Right over the lumber yard. Follow him around. Remember, there's a little, not so much bank, a little less. You want to match his bank in the turn. If he's got 10 degrees, you don't want to have 30. And on the same token, if he has 30, you don't want to have 10. The object is to stay in that perfect toe position, whether we're going straight, starting a turn, in a turn, or finishing a turn. Okay, just in a little bit. Remember the vertical fin next to that right mirror. A little closer to the fuselage. Center line. Ah, there it is. That's better. Good. Perfect. Cut on the inside of them. A little less bank. Bring it back to that. We're basically centered up on his left tire. And that the vertical fin in that 47 in the right mirror helps give us a little better reference to where we need to be. Cameron, being that you're doing such a great job on tow, Now you can, while on tow and in perfect position, do a little bit extra scanning around for yourself. Remember, Aaron's a little bit further in front of us. He's 200 feet away. He gets a little bit different perspective than us. Coming up on our release, getting ready, Jim. So while in perfect tow position, look to the left for his safety, look to the right for our safety. When you're all free and clear, you can pop off when you know the rope's gone, make your turn to the right. It's unmistakable when the rope goes. The last thing you want to be doing though is pulling back on the stick as you're getting ready to pull the release. That puts a lot of extra undue stress on the whole glider, airframe, tow mechanism. Let's see, we got anything here? A little bit of zero. Throw on a little trim. You know where our airport is? Yeah, it's about 3 miles. So, if we were 1,000 feet lower, we would be heading back to our airport. Just a little bit getting back to where we were with that release. Just, we got to make sure we react a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
We'll talk more on the ground about that. Let's see if we hit a little something up here. If we don't hit something in the next few seconds, we're going to work our way a little closer to where that lumber yard is. That's about 2 o'clock off our right side. I mean, I know where it is. You'll learn where it is.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about turning left or right to get back, just because normally when we release, I go right.
Yep.
But,
well, you got to think in emergency, things are a little bit different. Let's do about a 90 to the right, because we're hitting some bad air here. We should only be hitting like 2 and 3 down. We're hitting like 3 and 4 down. Our normal sink rate at our minimum sink is like 2. So if we're going like 45 to 50 and we're seeing a 4 and a 5, ooh, that's not such good friendly air. Good, I like that you're looking around. Also, look for your bird buddies. They're huge to help you out on these days when we don't have any clouds marking the sky. You know, it's coming alive. I don't know whether it's good or bad. Give me about a 45 to the left. Look first, please, even though it's a shallow turn. Good, that's perfect. Line up right there, almost on Blair Academy, which is straight ahead. Again, the wind coming from our left side is pushing us like this. So by you pointing this way, our ground track is going to go more towards the right, actually. So compensating for that wind. The lumber yard there's a shiny silver roof and a bunch of construction equipment kind of in that yard there, off our lower right, about 1 o'clock. That's where I want to kind of go. That's why I was feeling that bubble. I use my toe as like a tester for where where I thought there was lift. Or if someone else went up and they told me, hey, there's lift over the lumber yard. Oh, getting a little friendlier, so slow up a little bit. We're getting some 0 and 1 there. That's a good sign. Now we're looking to feel. Come on. You see how the right wing went up? Let's make a little gentle turn that way. What made that? Was it lift on the right wing or sink on the left? So we'll make a little deviation in that direction. I'm an optimist, so it's always lift. Level for a sec. Yeah, not only traffic am I looking at, but I'm also looking for my bird buddies to help me figure things out. And the way that I'm looking at this, the wind's coming from on that side, the lumberyard's there, there's a hillside here with these trees. So any wind or thermals that are coming up from the lumberyard, they're going to hit that mountainside, and with the wind, they're going to drift to about right where we are. So if, I try to position myself in an area with the thought process of where the wind is, where the lifting source may be, so that I can maybe better utilize, you know, or have a better opportunity of utilizing any lift if there is some. Let's see if we get a little closer. Come on! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh. Come on. Come on, you need to feel it, you need to feel it. Feel. I'm just feeling this thing. I'm going to go just a little bit more. Oh, that's getting better. Here we go. Let's try a little rotation to the left. Look. As you see a bird way down there close to the trees, but that's a good sign. Good. Keep that wing right in it. Right over the cemetery. Ooh, is that good or bad? Yeah. We got lift! All those hot dead people expanding. I'll take this. 0 and 1. That's good. Little left pedal, little back right stick. 45 for a good airspeed. There we go, Cameron. 40's probably just a little slow. Remember looking outside at what you're seeing. Alright, if that's indicating 45 on your airspeed, you look outside and you see where that yarn is in reference to that horizon. You make sure that that nose stays right there on the horizon. And you guess what? When you land back at the airspeed indicator, it's going to still be saying 45. As well as tuning into what your ears are saying. You got a little hum here from this baby. Good. Well, hey, way better than it's been. Keeping a good bank, keeping a good airspeed. If you keep a solid bank and a solid airspeed, you're going to have a solid radius. If your airspeed's going from 45 to 75 and your bank's going from 10 to 30 degrees, your circle's going to look like an octopus. It's all over the place. Push, back to center, cross control. Back right stick, middle left pedal. I think level here for a second, I think. Give it 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Let's look back to the left and stick and pedal. Push. Back to the center, back pressure. And if you're right in it, then you're going to go almost immediately into your cross control. But not so much down. Look outside, because now you're chasing it. You're looking at the airspeed, and you're saying, oh, I'm getting slow, and I'm pushing. Just put that nose back on the horizon where it was at 45, and guess what? It'll figure itself out and be right back where it needs to be. Good. You may feel me nudging a little bit of pedal or stick here. Just I'm trying to give you some extra little pointers to clean you up. Okay, I'll take it. We're upwind to the airport and we're holding on at 19. It sure beats being down on the ground. Again, as you go around, try to feel for any little surges or where it feels a little bit better, and that's where you make your adjustments to try to better position yourself in that rising little pocket of air. There it is. Yeah, even these little weak ones have a little oomph when they're trying to kick your butt out. Again, as we go around, I scan the airport, make sure no one's taking off and trying to take us out. I scan the airport traffic area, and that means looking at all sides within like a mile of this whole airport. Is there somebody coming in for a landing? Because we're within a quarter mile of the airport, and we're just above pattern altitude by 500 feet. Well, someone might be descending down to pattern altitude, and you know, might be coming into our airspace. So you gotta look out for them. Let me just see 1 second. Just mimic me. I think I'm gonna make a little direction correction. Again, I look to the left, clear, stick, pedal, push, push. It may or may not work out. Half-ass did. Half-ass didn't. Level out for a second. I think I'm going to go back this direction just a little bit and see what happens. Oh, I felt that right wing go, didn't you?
Yeah.
Let's try a little turn to the right. Look, clear, stick, pedal, push, push. Back to the center, back pressure.
A little bit.
A little bit. Not too slow, 45, not 40. Other pedal. There you go. Remember, keeping that yarn coming straight back at us is ideal. A little bit. Stick with it. Keep that wing tucked into it. Keep that, yeah. Good. Little right pedal, little back left stick. That'll tighten it up. 45 miles an hour. Good. Don't overdrop the nose, otherwise you're going to really speed up. We're getting like little bubbles that we're percolating off of. We call these ground bouncers. Oh. Good. You're sitting down a little bit slower. You're working back. There you go. Pedal stick. Push, push. Back to the center. I actually kind of like these challenging days. I've had 45 minutes between 1300 and 2000 MSL, you know, and then what it does is it really gets you working that finer lift, you know, the weaker lift. On a day when the air is going up 1,000 feet a minute, Cameron, you just grab hole one, you go around, and even if you're a little sloppy, well, you know, 1,000 is the heart. That means around the outside there might be 5, 6, so it's very easy. This is where your skill of being good with airspeed, being good with your use of your controls, and working the weak lift. If you can work weak lift, you can work any type of lift. We'll give it another turn or two if we can't get ourselves back above 16, 17. Okay, mimic me 1 second. I'm just going to try to tighten up. You know, a 30 to 40 degree bank might be required. If they're big and fat thermals, you may be able to get away with a 20 degree. Trying to keep it right around 45. Looking for traffic. Massaging that thermal with my feet a little bit. What am I doing? Nothing really, right? We got it set up in the bank, we're in the thermal. If you can center the thermal, you can pretty much set it and forget it. I went around yesterday 3 times like this without doing anything. I had everything set. We were in a bubble of lift. Every time you move these controls, you're adding drag. So if you can set it and forget it. Alright, back to you. Keep us going right on around. We actually gained a little bit. Work on a good constant bank at a good constant airspeed. Remember, we can go 50 miles an hour at a 40 degree bank, but we can't go 40 miles an hour on a 50 degree bank. So working those, you know, today's conditions and the bank angle for that type of lift is important, that you know, get as good as you can. All right. $19, baby! Good. The old saying, Cameron, less is more. The glider wants to do you know, a wonderful job. We just got to get it set up in a position where it can. Good. Leading with that feet to pick up the downwind. The other thing is, when you get in that lift and you're in the heart of it, the strong part, look down at the ground, get a ground reference, so that if you're messing around later, let's say you get up really high and you start going tooling around doing some other stuff. Hey, let me go back where I had luck. The other day I went over the one farm on the right side of the airport over there twice. Both times I was able to get lift and go back up. So sometimes, if there's little or no wind and the sun's baking the ground, that lift stays percolating in the same area. Like it is right here. Probably no soaring underneath all those clouds way out to our left and west. All that high cirrus. It looks like up towards the Catskills though I see some cues forming way in the distance. And where we are, we're in blue lift. We can't see it, but we can feel it. Good, nice yarn. Keep that yarn coming back. It was just on the uphills, up 94 side. I think it's back this direction towards the high school. So maybe level out. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll dissect the lift. I'll go, I'll see when it gets to zero, I'll see what its peaks at, and then I'll see when it goes back to zero. And then I do a U-turn. And I'll go till about where it peaks, and then I turn, and that gets me kind of to where the center is. Or I'll count. Alright, I'm in the lift, 1 Mississippi, 2, and if I get to 6 and then I fall out of it, I do a U-turn, and when I hit the lift, I'll go 1 Mississippi, and when I get to 3, then I turn. And then I'm, you know, kind of gauging myself back to where the center is. Okay, look, push, push. To get the departing into 7. I'm not too worried. He's not a helicopter. He can't climb straight up. When I worry is either if I'm off the departure end of an airport and I'm like at about 1,000 feet or a little lower, or coming into land and I'm at the departure end of an airport. You got to think, you know, some of these planes, a lot of them, some of them have some high power in them. They can climb pretty good. It might have been a bubble. We might have been using a stream that turned into a bubble. Feel, feel, feel. Don't see anyone else out here, Cameron. I mean, this is like a power pilot's dream of a day. There's no wind. Oh, getting a little friendlier. There you go. Why don't we give a shot at that? Trying to listen to which side the glider talking. Maybe it's a straight band. You might find just going a half a mile straight and doing a 180 and going back and forth. And these long, narrow bands is the way to go. I've had lift. Try left. Okay, good. I've had lift in long bands for like 15 miles. I've gone from like exit 12 over by Route 80 all the way into the Poconos past Shawnee and never turned. Guy's taking off. He's midway on the runway. And I just put that on my radar screen. I'm not so concerned about him. But hey, he's taking off and he's climbing up in the atmosphere. We're going down in the atmosphere. You know, is he staying in the pattern? Is he going to be a potential problem for us? Maybe he's practicing takeoff and landings. Well, right where we are is where the downwind leg for runway 7 is. You know what? Circle back around. I see a red tail flying over the A&P. Let's try. We'll give it one more stab up in that direction. He's actually flying straight over the center of the A&P group. He's just on the north side of it. Down a little bit lower. Just gonna level out. Let's just kind of go like we're going right up the highway along with him. See what happens.
Getting a little friendlier.
A little friendlier, yeah. That guy is about 1 o'clock climbing up. What happened? Do we know we got our airport made? Oh, I got a little surge. You want to give it a shot one way or the other? Yes, yeah, we're getting pushed this way. Yeah, look, clear, push, push. And it may or may not be something worthwhile, but you got to, you know, experiment with it. Alright, just a little FYI, we got 2 other airplanes back taxiing, 3 of them. At this altitude, Cameron, we got to be starting to think about heading towards our IP. So let's do about a 45 to the left. Let's start our checklist. Let's start thinking about that landing. And we got those guys down there back taxiing on the main run, on the side taxiway. So we're going to make sure we come in plenty high and we land long up towards where our glider track is. Alright, what do we do on the way to our IP?
Look for traffic and the landing checklist.
Let's hear the list, and when you say something, please do something.
Undercarriage, fixing welded, spoilers are working, trim, set, airspeed 55.
Yep.
Look.
We got those guys. I don't know whether they're going off the grass. I'm assuming they might go off the pavement, but you never know. So we're actually going to be a little higher. We don't want to just be scraping in like we did last time. Good, we're hitting our IP 1200 MSL or 800 AGL. But we're also hitting some down air, so a lot of down air. So we don't want to, you know, be using any extra spoilers if we don't need to. Remember, the wind's coming from our back, so downwind's going to happen relatively quick. We're in a little tight to the airport, but we're a little lower. So that's okay. What we can do is when we get to the end, we're really not going to do much of a base leg. It's more going to be like a 180 to the right. Okay. Left hand on those spoilers. Keep your airspeed straight, intact. Look for traffic straight ahead and to the right. Don't see anything. I see a bird flapping.
So we're just going to do a quick 180.
A little barely a base leg.
Okay.
If you're going to turn here, you're going to need to apply a bunch of spoilers. We're a little high. Good. Because we're not going to be spending much time on base little at all. Good. Good. Now we're going to line up for the grass, 55. You can't see those planes, can you?
No.
There's 3 of them there. Now what if he pulled out and you were low? Just like he's doing right now. We're plenty high.
So crack them open like halfway?
Yeah, well, we want to get all you. You're good right where you are. Keep that airspeed though. You're getting a little slow. Make sure that we work our way over towards the grass area so we don't overlap wings with the guy that's taking off. Nobody's coming out from the other side. Good. Yeah, don't mess with the spoilers. Let's just keep them right where they are. Hold it off. Little left rudder, straighten this out. Hold it off, hold it off, hold it off. Back, 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 slowly, little bits at a time. Good. Now mimic me, because I don't want to carry the glider too far. But for ground handling, don't ever point like I am to anything. Again, I'm doing this thousands of times. I understand how the energy management is going to work out. And we didn't use any brakes except for right there. Good, that was a nice flight.